Good evening, for Enterprise fans. Welcome to the finale, the live finale of Survivor Hero Island. My name is Garen, the club captain, and the ringleader of this controlled chaos, as it were. I'm here in the booth with Deathlike on comms. How are you doing tonight, Deathlike?
Doing all right. I don't think I've taken any part of this, so like this island, I don't know where it is, but it starts with my favorite guy, so I'm sure you'll tell me why him.
Yes. Also, thanks to Aeronor for doing the restreaming. We have four of our club members on stream here tonight: Tall Grant, Matic, Razor, and BG Rich. Good luck to all the racers. And we also have Nehru doing the tracking for us. So thank you for joining us, Nehru. I know you've been liking the club lore. So reminder to everyone watching, if you like lore and Final Fantasy IV, there's a Survivor Hero Island channel on the Discord. There's a whole bunch of lore in there. I might explain more of what's going on tonight. I'm just going to briefly recap it. Last race 2 weeks ago was supposed to be the finish, but surprise, surprise, King gets mind controlled, kidnaps the champion Palom, made off for Baron Castle. There's a weird Lunarian ritual going on here with the assistant to Golbez, who orchestrated all this thing, and is trying to basically steal Zeromus's powers, take over the world, that kind of usual thing. So Kane's been split into two, which is why there's an objective to get Kane, even though Kane's the hero, and also do Mount Ordeals to sort of put Kane back together into one piece. I get Palom, who's been kidnapped and used as part of this ritual thing. And then the other four objectives, I'm sorry, are basically things to do to try and stop the assistant to Golbez. Number one, defeat him. Number two, destroy the Tower of Zot, where shenanigans are going on. Forge the legendary weapon, and then destroy the giant, and then hopefully you get to destroy the evil scheme going on. One other little twist here, I have three endings written up for this club, depending on how the racers do. The ending is 90 minutes or less, and the bad ending is if they take longer than 2 hours. There's a meta ending for in between. It should be fun, and with that said, I should probably go and give them a 1 minute notice that we're going to drop the gate. 1 second.
Soon. Soon.
Yes. I'll give them 1 minute just because that's
I mean, you need to sync. You need to do some syncing. I mean, it's understandable because it's practically live, but I mean, a lot of these broadcasts are usually on some sort of delay. So this is a little different. So yeah.
this is only the only live race of the season, actually, because this has been a VOD restream club the entire rest of the way through. Usually when you've seen this chaos, it's already been pre-recorded. We already know what's going to happen, at least I do. Uh, this time around, well, to explain our flags a little bit here, we only got Kane and Palom. It's going to be a two-person character seed the whole way through. And more to the point, all those checks are on. Main, Moon, Summon, Monster Boxes. So, it could be interesting without any healer dedicated in here.
Yeah, that's so. Yes, I saw that, and I thought you have to go. You got to go big or go home. With Kane, it's got a lot of the good weapons. Sure, obviously not the holy sword that we all love and fear and love, but he has. But even without that, you still have a wide series of weapons to equip, plus his own specialized spear. So there's a lot of variety, a lot of options, a lot of power with his weapons. So
And
he's got a lot of utility.
and meanwhile, we're going to be getting going here. The racers should be off momentarily.
I do think with Pelham, I think was being the character gated. That will also, I guess, have to get him up to Quake because Pelham without Quake is nothing. So yeah, and of course, as I'm sure it's been known, but it bears repeating, the first character is not counted in the getting character arc, so they don't count.
Yes, so this is the split Kane who's leaving behind in Baron Castle to have evil things done to him by the assistant to Golbez and that Lunar Sparkle. Horrors. Meanwhile, we're starting with a poison axe for the starting key item. I don't know if you saw the list of items running through there, but somehow there was a heroin robe in one of the random starting kits. So there's a lot of power for this cane right away. We're being nice tonight, apparently.
I
I
mean,
was for the script writer, but that's me, so.
well, I mean, if I mean, my head canon, you just put the heroin robe on the head, call it a day. That's power overwhelming as it is. But with the, I would probably put on the power the poison axe and pair with another weapon. So dragon being a perfect pairing for it. So I just let him smash things. You'll probably be fine most of the time.
Yes, and as it turns out, we've already got tons of power here with the Dragoon armor, so I mean, they should have no problem really taking this out. To begin with, there's a Yang here to start out with. That's not going to be too much of a problem.
I mean, this is half pseudo vanilla. It just happens to be in a different spot.
French vanilla, yes. And Kane is an evil wall today. Woohoo.
That's actually super spicy, and there's some wonkiness that goes on with evil wall. But at least you have be more than tanky enough to take on the evil wall as is, because while this spot is pretty tough, but when you have a heron robe paired with omnidextrous, you're probably gonna tank everything in the back row, especially.
And there's our hook. Woohoo! So Kane had the hook all along. And as our first objective on the board, we have gotten Kane. These three of our racers have. Tallgrand is starting off in Castle Eblin, trying to get a little bit more power there with the monster boxes, which can have very nice things, since we're on Tier 6 Wildish loot. This is also on the main branch, 4.5, so there can still be Holy Swords here. Maybe the Adamant Armor, because those are off, but Crystal Swords, yeah, that'll let you mow things down.
I mean, who doesn't? Then all you need is, on the other hand, a decent stat stick. Even a power staff is a good stat stick for when you've got a spoon or whatever on the strongest weapon on one of your hands. So it's a good combo to have.
Or if you have a Crystal Sword, it's powerful enough, you just go with a Black Sword, for a Black-Hearted Cane. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta carry both your power in both hands. That's just the way it goes. So I think Tallgrand, was trying with the Eblin, just trying to loot Eblin, and I think probably should have tried to jump on the Lamia, as charm status with having all that power is a very big gamble. Avoiding charm, especially in the randomizer, is a good thing.
Meanwhile, BG Rich has found there is a Canadian Nope Noodle here over on Mount Ordeals, which apparently you can jump over its nasty wave.
Yeah, that has to do with the chain effect. You can't a lot of the times you can't. There are certain things that are kind of weird and special about chain that allows things like the evil wall to kind of cheat the system. Here it just goes off, does nothing, but something still has to happen with chain.
We saw some dolls taking a bath in the waterfall. That's unfortunate. It's a nice, easy boss to put there. Razor's taking down the Mad Ogres. Is there a reward here? There's a Crystal Sword. Of course there is. It's Eblin. Holy Swords abound. There's your power overwhelming. 4 minutes out of the gate here.
Probably doing it more for the XP. I mean, well, yeah, the loot is great, but I don't think. But with Omnidex, you not really have to like look deep for good weapons, though.
Yeah. To answer Aaron's question, I wrote the meta objectives before vetting the seed. Actually, this is always going to happen, regardless of how generous or not this particular thing was going to be. But as you might see when we get to the spoiler log, this is a bit of a memey seed, so, it fits.
Are you saying that we're going to feed the big chocobo with the crystal sword for free? Because that would be mine, but I don't.
Hmm.
But I think some runners will probably try to use it as soon as possible instead, because who can say no to that?
Alien Cages has a rune axe today. It's useful for the mage bosses, but not otherwise progression. Hologram is going to show us, it looks like, the monster box, the doggo, which is half the time very, very important. And oftentimes faded for a while because of that Zot double dip.
I mean, it's a, I mean, it's good loot. I mean, that's just always, you can't, like, you have, it's an opportunity cost. I mean, you have to go out of your, essentially go out of your way, unless it works better if you get, like, the Earth Crystal as your starting, item, but, other than that, it's not a, I mean, it's a decision if you want that power now.
Sur is over on Mount Hobbs, which we don't need because we already got Kane. And Palom can't appear on the overworld because of the restriction of his character this time around. BG Rich is the first one through Mount Ordeals, so Kane is back together on BG Rich's side, and BG Rich can now dive the hook route. I was apparently feeling generous in the early game. Will I have felt less generous as we could move on? Let's find out.
Yeah,
There are 7 objectives here, and they have to finish them all, so we will see here.
I mean, you've kind of got all the power. You probably can take them all, or bring Palom along and try to get him some levels before. Although, you could probably get away with Kane doing all the work. I in the back of my mind would prefer to get Palom online. Although with Omnidex, you can like dual wield with him too. So it's not out of the question. It's not. And it's probably not optimal, but it's still fun to swing 2 weapons on a mage.
Well, maybe if there's, 4 crystal swords, you can just, quad wield crystal swords and just watch things melt. I mean, it's fine.
I mean, well, of course, I know that the twin we have is not the twin we want. I'm disappointed it's not the twin I want. I mean, Form has a place in my heart, but I think with Palom, you don't need. I mean, the twin command is not even relevant. It's like, yes, twin with the twin command, but no other twin. So, yeah, it's fine. We're gonna probably bonk our way to the top, anyways.
Yeah, we sent a French vanilla mom bomb after Fabul and left a protect ring there from the Dark Knight. So not terribly interesting there. And as we're seeing, there's the Octomam in the back attack spot. Again, not too challenging considering where we are here, but that Crystal Sword won't do quite as much work there just because Octomam has a resistance against it because it's weak to dark. For plot reasons involving vanilla.
It would be a thing. Just thought like I know everyone's going through just hoping for the magma key, I guess, but like getting warp if on Palom takes a while. So I think the runners probably is not a terrible idea. Like you have to get Palom to a reasonably high level, bit past Quake to get warp to kind of speed up a lot of the movement here. So it's not a terrible thing, but if you're thinking of optimizing, you'd have to still get quite a bit of levels in Palom before even considering using warp on this and trying to get some time back, if any.
Yes, meanwhile, there's a fairly useless pass as the reward from going to Mount Ordeals. We have jokes in this seed. And there's a Dark Elf, which is Kane's challenge here to get through. Welcome, Elvenstar. How are you doing? Also, going back to the movement idea, the runners are really looking for exit speed for sale in one of these shops because obviously with no white mage, there is no exit. We're walking out of everything until you get warp on Palom, or you find those exits somewhere. Also, that could be kind of nasty if you have to go into Cave Magnus early, or if you have to go down, the Luca Cave, or Heaven forbid if you go like down the lunar subterranean, you don't have any of those sorts of things. It's like warping out of the LST takes quite a few efforts to get out of.
That is a lot of effort. I think you can, if as long as you. uh, I'm trying to remember if J item looting is available. It. I think
Yes, Jadam is here.
maybe just pray, loot a bit and pray at that point. I think you can still warp out of Cave Magnus without an issue. It's still a lengthy quote unquote, but it's not too bad. It's although unfortunately it's about this. It's a little it's shorter, a little bit shorter than warping out of the sealed cave. It's about the same number of warps, but it's you still have to do extra walking. It's not too bad getting out of Cave Magnus with warp.
And we see that there is a cheeky water hag hiding in the mist cave. That's unfortunate for the runners. That's a free spot that is not available to them later on.
Yeah, it's nice. It's kind of unfortunate when you don't. When you, I mean, as when you're racing, it's like a kind of. It's nice when some of the terrible bosses go in weak spots and some of the nicer bosses go in strong spots. But you know, the challenge is there. It's up to you whether you want where you want to have frightening fights or hey, it's there. Let's just deal with it and move on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jason did find Gaia helmets over in the Mist Village, but passed on them because in Omni, even though it's Palam's best in slot helmet piece normally, here with Omni, it's not really all that great. We want tiaras instead, or heroine robes if we want to go the melee route.
Yeah, so stat sticks and stat armors get a lot get a lot of more importance. You know, plus 15, plus 10 to whatever stat for particular characters. It just accelerates their power growth immensely. So you try to head in that direction. So yeah, it seems so like a power. You would probably want to fill up a power shirt, but preferably heroin robes because you want that agility bonus. But in Palom, you probably want to avoid any sort of heroin robes as you could probably bluff your way to success. But that if you stack in 3 heroin robes on top of that, it'll take a while. If you want
Yeah,
to
I
use
mean,
magic.
if you're putting through heroine robes on Palm, let's be honest, you're meleeing at that point, and you're going to do just fine doing it.
Oh yeah, that I mean I mean that's the heroin robe is literally converting any mage to a Zerker, and sometimes you just want Zerkers.
Yeah, not if you're probably doing the D-Lunars, but you know.
Hey, there will be exceptions to the rule, but it's still a lot of fun when you when you can just not have to not have to think about it too much. I mean, there will always be bosses where the Avenger is a terrible weapon for. So sometimes, if you can get away with it, you can until you can't.
We have found our elixirs here in the Eblin shop. They might want to buy some of these because, again, healing is not exactly a thing here. But we're gonna get Cure 3s instead.
Cure threes are invaluable, especially. I mean, you're getting like, you know, as in terms of seed generation, anytime you do not generate a white mage, so this seed classifies one of them. Cure threes are guaranteed to show up. So buying those are always worth it in any seed. And honestly, probably you don't need an elixir for everything. Nice to have buy one once in a while. Although I have a bias to Ether 2s because they're just more efficient. But Cure 3s are just invaluable in any emergency situation when you need healing.
In this case, Ether 2 is not going to heal you at all because no one can actually create HP out of MP in the seed. I know about the drain spell, but you're not going to use it. It's not efficient.
No. Drain spell. I mean, the only spell I bother using is Psych, and that's if I'm lucky, I have a little staff to do it for me because it's instant. But that's like you're not stealing MP from Kane.
You've got a flavor of Mylon over here in the Tower of Zot. Mylon Z is in the first spot. And Jazer's taking the Staleman chest. Is there something good down here? Let's see. Another crystal sword. That's 2.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with second crystal sword? It's perfectly fine. Just one thing about Mylon Zed.
We've also found an Excalibur, so okay.
Yeah, you've got that is a really heavy daily dose of metal in every monster's diet, where you keep swinging and they keep eating your metal weapon.
Yes. Meanwhile, I was nice. There is a Palom here actually on the hook route. Palom's not guaranteed here under these flag settings because the practice seed, if anyone wanted to try that, there was a Kane here, so you had to do the hook route solo. And we have a Doctor sitting in the hook 2 spot. That should not be too terrible. We do have to see, though, who is sitting in hook 1.
Hook one is usually spicy, although without the firepower, as long as you don't die in one hit and I see a glass hat, you're probably going to see that character survive. Although base level Palom, maybe. That's fine. I mean, back row helps a lot.
And we're going to take this Mad Ogre chest here right at the entrance because it could have a key item. You're not going to pass it up. At least, you shouldn't pass it up, because if you do, then you're going to come back here later probably, because it's always going to have what you need when you skip it.
Oh, and when you have Omnidex or just Edge, you always want to have your Dragon Whip on your right hand. Basically, the weapon with the back row, to get the glitch happening, you got to put it on the right hand. Put it on the left hand doesn't actually set the back row bit, which is a really specific characteristic of just two-handed weaponry and setting the bits. It's a quirk.
We love quirks here for Enterprise. Also, to the question of why can't you steal MP from Kane, Kane doesn't like sharing.
No, can't share. Doesn't. No. You know what Dragoon magic exists? It's in his spears, or some of them, anyways. That's
some of us would say it's in the boots, because I mean he jumps way high, and then he stays up there for longer than anyone can do.
He doesn't have to land. There's no part of jump where he has to actually land in combat. That's just optional. You see.
I guess you end the fight mid when he's still in the air. Then technically he's still in the air until you get to the next fight.
If only the lore was actually accurate for that. If only.
You can do whatever I want as far as the lore goes, as long as I keep it family friendly, right?
Yeah. I mean, what comes up doesn't have to come down. In jumping in Final Fantasies, at least many of them.
I'm pretty sure Kane can still jump when he's floating, even though he can't get a launching point, so he's good.
But that doesn't explain kick. Jump ignores physics, but kick can't ignore physics too. How does this work?
It's called the developers like Kane more than they like Yang. Remember, Kane they had to go all the way through to the end. Yang they basically had to take a can to the face. Think about this here.
I mean, they didn't allow violence on Yang. I mean, you have a pan, and you know what to do with it. It just only calls for one thing and one thing only.
All right, so we are seeing that Azer is through the first fight on the hook route and is now going to see the Doctor.
If only the good Doctor can have a few words. Dr. Luge has been known to be also known as Dr. Dialogue, as he loves speaking a bit and doing fun things. And the only thing you really remember him is he likes to poison you because he can. In the second form, although not the form Jazer's. This form where he kind of takes over his robot and punches things, but also not considered a robot in this particular form.
Oh, and it's going to actually blow up. That's interesting. How much HP does it have?
Very fortunate.
Not too much.
It's very fortunate.
Yeah, if it hit Palom, we'd be down to 1. Although I don't think it's going to be bad because Earth Hammer would just destroy this form of Dr. Luge. Witness the quads. Yeah.
Yeah. It's only Bonalb and Dr. Luge's second form, the second fight specifically. So it's kind of an interesting fight as it is. Which, though, at least we don't have to hear poison stairs.
This is true. All right, we are through the hook route, and we're going to launch the Falcon in about 22 minutes here on Jazer's side. First one to get all the way underground.
I missed the character that I know we definitely took a peek at it, but I totally missed it.
I also missed that, so if chat wants to let us know, we can take a hint. Otherwise, we'll catch it when the next racer drops down.
The spot is usually pretty safe. The actual Doctor Luge spot, no, a lot of HP, not a lot of spell power. Usually safe. Just all you remember is a lot of HP because there's multiple forms, and in Free Enterprise there's a lot of HP fudgery. But the simplest part is you just sum up all the HP that would have been distributed at that spot, and then redistribute it based on the monster and HP ratios that show up.
We're not going to do it on stream because doing math on stream is dangerous and we might cause a problem.
You mean divide by 0? Those crash things. That's what I'm told.
Last time we divided by 0, we ended up having to sedate Kane from that.
I mean, Kaneception could happen anytime.
This is true. I mean, Kane could stab us in the back while we're in the middle of this episode. The world's right on Kane's back. No pressure. Azer is not going to validate our seed. There's a job dwarf up in the upper left room there, whose job changes seed to seed. We have not seen it though. Maybe one of the other runners will show us.
I don't even know where this is all pulled from. I don't even know how many jobs there are. I just know there will always be a job for job dwarf.
Like redshirt guy. Yeah, something like that.
Hey, as long as you're paid.
This is free enterprise. It's in the name. We don't pay anybody.
So I guess the volunteers.
Actually, it's worse. We actually have to pay sometimes, right? No, we know we don't. But
no, there's. Yeah,
it is free. Don't worry.
It's in the name. So it'd be interesting what shows up. Actually, even with all the Omnidex, there can still be some very evil things showing up, especially particularly at the Leviathan spot. So I don't. Well, I'm sure there'll be a peek at what that is there, but with all this power, we probably shouldn't have too much of a problem dealing with the damage. It's really about taking that damage. So, and I think those heals are. I guess we're gonna have to buy some more heals soon enough.
Yeah. One of the tricks here is Jay's showing us there is the monster box. Is healed up enough where you can probably take this, but I mean, if you're just wandering around, you're at 1 HP. I don't care how much defense you have, they're gonna kill you at 1 HP. As long as they don't have like 3 or 4 misses in a row, but
maybe misses will happen, but at the higher punchy spots, they have higher multipliers, so the chances of them missing decreases inevitably. Still, just you can't be too comfortable sometimes with the high punching spots. Although
Of course,
got some reserve stations.
one of the interesting things for the runners to manage if they decide to go there is going to be the Sylph Cave, because there are 7 monster boxes that could all hold key item checks down there. And unfortunately for them, there's a lot of poison tiles. Can't float over them because no white mage. And there's only one save point in there, so it's like you'd have to be healing a lot before those things. Oh, and Jazer's found the Darkness Crystal hiding in our Feymarch box.
That's
Well,
fortunate.
that is fortunate. That opens up the moon, that opens up the giant, one of the required objectives. Jazer is actually like he has somewhere to be tonight. Freebie, though, is just a firebomb. So, womp womp on that.
I mean, when it comes
Oh,
to this, go ahead.
we've got the exits here in the Feymarch. And hourglasses.
Probably should sell the farm for that.
I would buy several exits, yes.
I think oh, found that
We
piece
found
of
the tiaras. So yes, the equipment is very generous in this seed. The runner shouldn't have too many problems unless they run across a nasty boss or two here or there.
Yep. So I mean, the tiara plus 10 wisdom, probably your best source outside of an adamant armor, which I don't. It's probably not accessible in the seed, so still
No,
by itself defensive properties, even if you're not getting it for its wisdom.
I did not put adamant armors in this thing. Are you kidding? I've already given them crystal swords, Excaliburs, heroine robes. What more am I supposed to give them here?
99 spoons. That's what you're supposed to give them. That's how this is supposed to work.
That's 95 spoons too many. There are lots of starving kids in the middle of Mysidia without spoons.
But what if we give it to one bard? Is that we ship off the bard with all 99 spoons? And that'll be a treat.
I can picture it now. 99 spoons attached to a moving calliope or something like that, and you just have Edward setting up a storm. Actually, the Bard Nehru got moved to Zero Island. That's where all the vote-off characters go to. It's at Hero Island when you're not a hero anymore.
Oh, this is this is gonna be fun. Plague fight.
That is a plague, which is one of the few things that could probably really ruin your day here, because plague does not actually cause any physical damage. It is a DPS race, and it's just against that particular timer.
I think it's probably doable, but you probably need at least one of them to have to die quickly and revive and kind of spawn that. But that's a pretty big risk, I guess.
Oh, the problem with the life roulette strategy is you only have 2 of you. So it's like, as soon as you blow one of you up and then, revive, the count's going up again, then the count's ticking down again. It's like there's not a whole lot of extra turns to sort of eat up your clock.
The best thing to do is maybe use a Star Veil, hold it up as just kind of defer, because since the script requires the script for the plague, all it cares about is making sure everyone is under count, and if not, and it'll keep trying to apply count until everyone has a count, and then does whatever its regular thing is. So if you get the Star Veil up, it will kind of get hung trying to apply count to both characters, and one of them not having count and having reflect will just keep perpetrating the effect until the wall effect wears off.
It's just showing us, meanwhile, that with Palom having enough agility gear here, he's actually able to outspeed the ghosts there and get that quick off before they attacked. Jazer is taking the early Sylph Cave here. We'll see if this pays off.
I think I find myself, like, if I'm going to do Sylph Cave, I'll just do the half that I will get the pan for. It's on the way, and the damage tiles are not as many as you think. It's the other path, where it's just like a one-way trip at some point. That is very dangerous, especially with this party configuration. So just doing the standard walk towards the pan is probably a safe bet. If you don't get it, well, that's whatever. But at least you can rule out some of the options on this side.
Oh, we are coding here, so we have to see if Palom gets an even or odd number of casts here. So far, he has taken 4 of them. He dodged the 5th. Yes.
Yeah, once in a while, J Adams should be good enough to take care of the frogs if you have enough J Adams to spare. That would help. The Toad Lady is not as important, but she will. I mean, she'll do her own thing once the other toads disappear. So it can be a worthwhile tactic to just use a J item to get rid of some of the toads. Though I do think you need ice because I do think they have some magic defense. The toads, while they look like toads, toads normally have toad status causes them to be less effective. But yeah, that's it. But it's probably not going to matter because Toad will be cured probably using the big whale or sleep or something.
Yeah, although if there's another box taken down here, just so Jay's just still checking boxes, it could be a little bit dicey if you end up with the wrong check, like maybe some mobiles, and maybe that Quake isn't quite fast enough with Palom. It looks like we have gotten to Shield 1, and we are out for the time being. We are not taking the rest of it for right now. I don't think Razor got anything extra out of there. Still has the Darkness Crystal from earlier when checking Feymarch box, but we're kind of light on key items here. It's like our Razor has only found, besides the hook, the Luca key, and Jazer's found that Darkness Crystal. We are kind of light, only 3 key items more than a half hour in.
I mean, it could be spicy on the moon. Maybe at this point, it feels like moon is stacked instead of haunted. I mean, runners would love to not do the moon.
We have found the Comedy Man.
In his vanilla spot, even.
In his vanilla spot.
You definitely rolled something.
Although, in this case, the Golbez is a question mark because, lore-wise at least, this is not Golbez. This is Joker Mage playing Golbez. So, over to Joker Mage as sort of a little bit of a co-contributor with as far as the script goes here, and come up with the idea to be Golbez's assistant. It's been run with quite a bit this season in the lore. So thank you, Joker Mage, for allowing us to, or allowing Golbez at least, or Zero Most, whoever we're going to go with, to use you for the sake of the comedy.
And for comedy, Matic had literally destroyed Golbez before even getting into the the paralysis healing stage. That's how fast that joke went.
Yeah, well, I mean, since Shadow can't kill anybody in this thing, because there's only 2 characters, and with Hero and Robe, Kanan getting stunned, yes, this works. And we have a Comet sitting at the top of Babel. Key items located, I don't know. I know Grant was checking the Tower of Babel's chests, but I don't recall anything coming out of them, but attention's been a little bit diverted.
Doesn't seem like it. It's
well, the tracker's one asking, so. You have a moon veil from the Dwarf Castle, so that's a zonk. Could be useful somewhere else, though, depending on what shows up.
I don't think the warp glitch is on, is it? I don't think
it is not on. No.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, but if that were a thing, that would have been a good time to remember to use it. But I myself forget if the warp glitch is ever on, so I'm just gonna warp, spend that 4 MP. Hope I actually pick up something for free, and if not,
Yeah, no, the racers opted to turn it off. The thing about Survivor the whole season is the racers have opted to pick their poisons and have turned various flags harder to turn the screws a little bit on them. One of the things they took away midway through the season was the warp glitch. It was on to start with, then it was taken away.
Hey, no one said you couldn't have your flags and eat them too.
What do these flags taste like?
They're like Z sprites.
What does these sprites taste like?
Taffy.
Taffy.
Taffy, yes.
Ha-
Taffy.
Okay. This race brought to you by Saltwater Taffy Incorporated. Okay. Moving along. We're gonna see Tall Grant leaving the tower. I don't know if we got anything in the chest there because I was not paying enough attention. Jacer's gonna turn in this pink tail. And we'll get a Bahamut orb that is completely useless.
I mean, it's your only free source of cash, but at this point, runners have probably multiple sources of cash. I mean, you could sell a crystal sword if you really, really need to, but barring that, there's plenty of looting being done in this seed. So it's one more Bahamut orb won't make too much of a dent in the wallet.
I think a crystal sword would make one of our community members very, very happy. Selling all the crystal swords would make them ecstatic.
I believe I know, but that person probably wouldn't want me to talk about eating bards. This seed won't even have any of those, so.
More than likely right. I'm sure the bard non-love of this season would not be appreciated, but there's always season 3. We can do better. And we'll see now on Jazer's side if there's any items in these babble boxes. There's a ninja shirt. That's nothing. Atticus is darkness crystal. Okay, that is 2 darkness crystals. Idris is trying this plague.
Yeah, the timing might be tricky. Probably not helping, not bearing a spear, having most certainly a crystal sword, but having even a spear on the other hand will essentially effectively double the damage. As weaknesses double the attack power.
Unfortunately, Plague is a little bit too fast here, so that's not going to work that way. Okay. We see that there are guards down here on Tall Grant's side. Easy peasy. Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, the Baron Guard's pretty free. Most particular mention is they are mages. Just so if you have those rune axes come in real handy if you decide to use them here.
Yes, although with Crystal Sword, you might not really have to.
I mean, there will be spots that if they were on like certain spots, like say the element spot in the giant, probably have more value. But this spot, the Calbrina spot, not so much.
Yeah, also, didn't even mention really the Odin sitting here as the king of the Feymarch is also a spot that is nasty to see it because if it gets off its Zenitsuken, it is going to one-shot this party at this level because it does not care about your heroine robes or anything else. It's based on its attack power, which is really, really high in this spot because Leviathan in the vanilla games never punches you. Naturally, the physical stats are insane here. And, ugh. This is a rude Feymarch the way it rolled.
You could probably avoid a lot of it with jump, but you'd have to get your timing right, and that's the tricky part. I mean, there are particular strats with Odin. Ideally, you want to try to get Thunderstruck, especially with Kain on the table. That's the tricky one of them all. You have to get the timing right, and it takes a bit of practice to get the timing down because you need to know when the punches are coming and when do the jump.
And we have Matic trying his luck now on this plague. If it goes any better. Alm is going to virus himself down. Is there going to be time to get him back up? That's going to be the question here. Okay.
Getting very good timing. Because it's actually very interesting. That's actually causing that to actually happen. The cycle that Maddox actually generating.
Yeah, so apparently when Kane is in the air, it thinks that Kane apparently doesn't have the count on him, and then casts the count, it resets the counter. Very nice use of mechanics there to get that off, because normally you're not going to see that effect happen. And Plague is down on Maddox's side. Now, was it worth it? Power Shirt? Probably not.
I mean, no, in general, but still, it's still a nice bonus if you still need to stack up more strength on a character.
And that Bahamut from the lower Babel thing has the Earth Crystal, so I think Tallgrunt must have the Earth Crystal too at this point, because Tallgrunt went through that. So that opens up a treasury. Treasury could have some fun stuff for us because, usually the treasury loot is weighted fairly high. They could find some more crystal swords there, for example. It's also one of the objectives.
Wasn't this? But isn't max tier applied? Like I think it's max tier 6, and I don't think crystal swords got into that. I'm trying to remember the flags. I don't, because those are not trap chests.
It is T Wildish max tier 6. I'm not sure how. I always remember the Earth Crystal is an exception, but I don't remember how. So never mind.
It's fine. What if this? There are a lot of flags. They often they often are combined in various ways and have very particular interactions sometimes. So you have to. It's always good to reread, and sometimes it's always worth getting some clarification. Once in show up on the Discord, ask a question about about generating seed, or just even what kind of things this randomizer can do.
And we are going to try this Odin from Maddox's side. Odin's already gotten 2 punches off before the party takes an action. Oh, we're going to YOLO it.
I have concerns. Yes,
Sword is up.
I don't think this is gonna kill though. It maybe have enough. Oh no.
Oh, that's gonna kill.
Yeah. Probably needs more levels though if you can really want to tank it. But no, probably what really needs the real way you want to do is actually drop strats. It's actually similar to the alternative stat for the alternative route if you actually used a certain bar to hide as necessary. Though jump is actually trickier because you actually have to time it, because jump lands when you don't want it to sometimes. So it's why it's a very interesting proposition. And trying to slow things down now on Wyvern Standard Time.
But the worst thing about Wyvern Standard Time is, remember, you've actually gone to it and then changing your clocks back after you're done.
I hate daylight savings time. Just changing the clocks. That would be my biggest gripe about daylight savings time.
It's kind of an ironic name. It's like daylight savings time. It costs me an hour every time just to change all the clocks. Ooh, Kane is actually down. Odin is punchy.
Probably strongly consider resetting, but at this point, he's gonna hold day to win. No, this is Zerk Palom, but that's not enough damage.
Let's see if Ellen gets off one more shot. Oh, yes, that is enough. Unfortunate. That was a race against the clock.
Yeah, because it's actually funny. Both bosses that speed up your time.
The Magma Key, the Fey March is haunted, as it usually is.
And that's where the name Fade March came in.
Except when there's a race occasionally, when you fade the Fey March, and then you end up last locationing whatever you need is in the Fey March. Happens.
Yes, that has happened. It's one of those things. All
right.
It's funny.
Just to recap, we are 45 minutes into the seed, so we have 45 minutes to go for the good ending here on the racer's part. We are still after, in this case, the Adamant and the Legend Sword is, I think, the main things we have not found yet. We have access to the Giant. We have seen the Earth Crystal. We've seen Golbez. At least I think all the runners have.
Yeah, I'm at this point. A moon dive starting to sound more appealing, at least from seeing everyone. Obviously, not every runner is going to be thinking moon, and of course, not everyone has collected the darkness crystal. I think Talgrant hasn't yet, and although has Talgrant checked the trap chest yet? Because that would have been the thing probably done, or did he just skip doing that altogether?
That might have been a skip. I don't recall exactly. Yeah, Biken's a little bit nasty there, perhaps, but again, this is only Tower of Zod. It's not that bad. If Viken was somewhere, let's say, the King of the Feymarch spot, that would be really, really spicy.
Bagging in any punchy spot is always spicy. I get it. Not quite 3 dark imps, but you might, but with Baggin uh having all points having the boss bit. They each hand punts pretty well, and it really hurts in really quickly.
Yep, we've got Tower of Zot down now, so that is we got a spoon for that. Phaser has 5 objectives down. We only need the Forge and we need the Giant. And of course, Giant is accessible. We can do that anytime we want. The question is, do we have enough power? We get through it.
Well, that was a concern about particularly the element spot because of the HP HP bloat. That spot has the maximum amount of HP possible for a boss due to having kind of 2 physical bosses with their own sets of HP, kind of capping out the HP. So the HP limit can only go so high, and used for other things, affects other things like pretty much the Z fight, though that won't be happening tonight. But just Z itself has quite a bit of HP hidden away because you can't actually represent 100,000 with only 16-bit number.
At least not the way the memory is designed. I mean, I guess you could have added another bit if you wanted to, but the programmers didn't. Or couldn't. Whichever way, I don't remember how that all works.
The bit has to come somewhere, and probably would probably cause other issues down the road. Take space, and space has to come from somewhere.
Oh, okay. So Jazer never had Golbez earlier, so this is going to be objective 5 on his end. Like the Giant, Jazer knew it was here, but just hadn't gotten to it yet. Also, Nehru, come on, it's not Golbez. This is Joker. We're at least pretending.
Like in this spot is not a lot of racers try to do this last, generally speaking, because unless it's a boss hunt, you're not real, and especially if the warp glitch is off, it's not a fun spot to be in because you have 2 back-to-back. You might pick a character. It's just, and it can be a rude spot, especially if you got there pretty early. So, for a run for Jazer, it's much later, so this is relatively safe. But if you got down to the hook route pretty early, this spot might be pretty rude.
Yeah. Speaking of rude, BG has launched the Giant. We're going to see if it's a rude Giant or if it is a forgiving Giant. We will see. And if anyone's wondering what Nate was talking about, Golbez in the box, read the lore on the channel. That's all I'm going to say there. All right. And while we have a brief interlude, again, thanks to Aeronor for running the restream of this, Nehru doing the tracking, Athletic for doing the comms with me on the booth, and our racers, Matic, Tallgrant, Jazer, and BG Rich. Be sure you give them all a follow.
Yeah, well, reconfirmed. It's an Earth Crystal, so I'm sure Matic will probably head towards the Tower of Zot because of an objective, and it is a thing. If we are to repeat, do your objectives. These are get your freebies, and oftentimes, not always, because probabilities are what they are. Sometimes your objective, you might stumble onto getting the key item you need for your next objective. Sometimes it just works out that way.
Sometimes, yep. Tallgrant is facing off some ghosts there. Palin got taken down, so a little bit of a rudeness going on there. It can happen. Oops, and Kane got put to sleep.
That's problematic.
And Kane is going to reset out of that and try it again. That is one of the nastier things about this particular setting, intentionally, because it is a challenge to get those boxes down right with the agility, with everything else going on. Boost Rage is not going to kill it, so
Yeah, it's not enough damage. Still need probably has Quake, but probably needed some time to like get it done. Like because you need a little bit of buffering and maybe just lower the battle speed. Sometimes helps out with trying to get
battle
his turn.
speed. Battle speed 2 or 3 will definitely help. Also, it could also help is slowing Kane down if you have some uh, drain spears, drain swords, restoring things like that, and then make Palom super speedy.
Yeah, I think Kane is the hero of the seed. So
Oh boy, Giant 1 is free.
it's certainly free, but it'll take a while to get through all that HP that's in the spot. So it's fine. It's free.
We don't have Beano free on here. They will kill themselves.
Oh, well, that's even better. You just gotta wait it out.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, if you think about it, it's just like if DKC had been in an Beano free situation and somewhere terribly rude, I'm not even sure if Kane at maximum would be able to get through it necessarily.
No, that will require sheer luck because because at some point Kane will be taking a dark wave, and that would be eventually it's just a matter of attrition. So at that point you'd want all the levels on Kane to absorb 2 hits, two dark waves, and turns to heal himself with like an elixir or Q or 3. So that would be a very painful event if that were a thing.
Atticus found that the Luca Cave has an Artie Bow and is taking the boss here, maybe looking for the D-Mist? Nope, it's Dark Imps. So we haven't seen the D-Mist yet, have we? Because there is a D-Mist hunt on for that item from Radia's mom. So BG Rich got a free Giant 1. We'll see if Giant 2 is any ruder. It makes any challenge at all.
There aren't too many bosses left, I think, that would offer the challenge, but I'm sure something like, say, D's Lunars will show up. But that's just me. That's me thinking, because I don't think I've seen D Lunars show up, and they will probably actually be a devastating boss at the spot. This is kind of close, kinda.
Well, this is a very punchy spot normally because the CPU doesn't punch. Leviathan does not punch.
That's not what I'd be concerned about. That is
Yeah,
what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, the magic is fairly decent at this spot. HP, not so much though.
Yeah, the CPU.
All right, Kane has one more to go. A jump.
See, Kane is the escape artist you need. It's probably needs one more turn. Probably should just hit A to win, unless.
Nope, this is gonna be bomb.
I think I would just gamble getting the hit, trying to revive. That attempt to revive would have been nice XP, but because I don't know how much HP left, but I think it's just one. I thought it was like 1 or 2 swings away, so it would have been.
I think it was one swing away at that point because there's about 20,000 HP at this spot. So, I mean, in an ideal world, that's 3 swings or 3 jumps from Kane, roughly. But again, there's no Bacchus Wines. You can't really Zerk Kane, so you can't get the bonus from that.
Yeah, see, this is one of the seeds where you miss the white wizards because they save their seeds bacon more often than not. Otherwise, this is what you get is desperation, literal desperation sometimes.
This is Survivor. We aren't doing this with white mages, weaklings.
But no one should be calling Rydia a real white mage. Cure one is not a solution. Azura is, but that's 66% of the time.
You're being generous to 66%.
Well, I mean, RNG could always roll you the purple face life and never get what you want.
Well, one thing's for sure. Ashura is not Varuk Assault. We never get what we want with Ashura.
I think I'm thinking for BG Rich. I don't. I assume you didn't lock them in.
No, no, I would not. I would not be that nasty. You could leave the giant if you so just chose. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to try to get through it though.
Yeah, it's interesting. Trying to manipulate the agility, figuring out what is the best plan of action. I would just say Palom is a lost cause. Just hope Kane pretty much jumps his way to success. I think this is
I mean,
that seems
the
to be the thing to me.
the simple solution here, which I'm not sure if there's any left, you throw a Star Veil on Kane. In that case, the Ice Twos can't hurt you, and it should be a pretty foregone conclusion from there.
Yeah, this. Yeah,
I don't know if they've any. Yeah, there it is. Star Veil.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Got to use the tools in your chest, or I guess you're gonna bump your head into the wall unnecessarily. So, yeah, those ice twos hurt. That's so you got to have the safety nets. I think we can buy J items this seed, so you should.
yes,
So,
if J items are available, the shops are on standard setting, so I mean, you're not going to see being super powerful in the overworld, but in the gated shops, you can find some nice things like the hourglasses, the Bacchus wines. Because I see that there's Bacchus in BG Rich's toolbox. So I mean, you got dueling leviathans. Jazer and BG Rich are both on the same boss at the same time.
I know camping gear probably isn't a focus of this siege because I mean, why sleep? We can buy elixirs pretty much as we want. I mean, we've got plenty of sources of money, but camping gear. You ever thinking of hunting for camping gear? Maybe not for this seed, but it is a general thing.
It varies based on the seed setting, but yes, I oftentimes will hunt for camping gear. And as I've been told and found out, you aren't necessarily guaranteed camping gear in a seed, unless it's S cabins.
Yes, which everything you can buy or everything you buy is a cabin, and those seeds can be frustrating sometimes. Not because you have all the healing you could ever want.
Imagine going to Walmart and all they're selling is cabins.
Well, can you show me a tent? It's a camping gear. I want tents.
All right, so Jazer and Beedrift are both through with the giant. Now the hunt is on for the forge. You see no part of it yet. We have roughly a half hour to go before we hit the deadline to get the good ending. So, the question here is, there are so many places you could look still. You have the 5 lunar altars still. You have all the boxes in the lunar subterrane, which is 9 of them. You have... I still think we haven't checked the...
hair dryers. We want
the hair dryers. Yeah. I mean, and cave value, so it's at least 16, 17 checks still to go here. This could be a little bit dicey if you go the wrong way.
If the LST chests are in play, I would have. I mean, that would be a trial in itself. I'd probably
they are in play. They are in play.
Well,
when you have Moon Flag is on and Trap is on, so therefore the LST boxes are definitely in play.
Oh, that sounds like a blast.
That sounds like going way high to Bimmy and Jimmy.
Hey, Bimmy and Jimmy are the best double dragons ever. Actually, I mean, I find that combination actually sometimes harder than the 2 red dragons. I'm used to 2 red dragons, 3 red dragons. Bimmy and Jimmy, though they're actually, I find that to be most difficult only because the blue dragon slows me down on just punching them, at any given point.
I know we've seen a dragon weapon. We might have seen a dragoon spear too, so it wouldn't be that bad that way. It's just the, getting through the blizzards, the hits, and all the rest of that stuff.
Do you think the punchy part is actually going to come mostly from the red dragons? When they have a different script when they're paired. So when you ever see the triple dragons or even the double red dragons, they have this. They have a double punch part of the script, and that often gets a character killed if they don't have any dragon resistance. It is very devastating just by itself.
We do have Dragoon armor though, so I think we'll be okay as long as we can sell it.
Yeah.
Laser is going to give us a look at the hair dryers. Is there value in the hair dryers, or is it just a bad hair day?
I would just shave it all off. That's the answer. Shave. Don't care for the hair. Everything must go.
That works for half of our audience, probably. The other half, not so much.
I'll take a haircut. How about that?
All for bucks. Okay, we can do that. But Kane's the one doing the cutting, and it's with his spears.
I mean, it's a good time to swing, and the poisoning that doesn't happen that often. A lot of times when you see hits to apply status effects, it's when when a monster or a character has taken their turn, and then it gets followed up by immediately that status afflicting punch. It works both ways, so that is often why you see things like that happen. It's a very interesting quirk of the system.
Yeah, by the way, as far as Kane, there's a package. As far as Kane doing the haircut, he's also been drinking with the Bacchus wine, so no guarantees on what you might get. And no refunds.
Definitely no refunds. No.
Refund machine's broken. Has been for years. Not getting fixed.
At least you don't. At least you're not. I don't think you have behemoths on, right? Because that would be
No, the K value does not have those on. I mean, you can turn them on if you want, but there wouldn't be any real reason to do it because Eno XP is on. You can't get experience from fights.
Sorry,
unless they're.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, you either take a boss fight or one of the monster boxes to only get experience in this particular flag set.
Right. I've played enough Mystery Seeds with Tricker's Trials, and I've gotten my daily dose of no XP behemoths. No, I mind you, I don't even care for the XP that I don't get. It's more of I just do it out of I do it out of getting used to it. It's like, hey, I'm gonna beat you up just in case I have to fight the Cave Value boss bud.
You have a Veil sitting here in Cave Value. And Kane has chosen to use a Bacchus wine, so hopefully Palom does the same.
Well, this is pretty free-ish, I think. I mean, sure, the punches will hurt, but this is the least of your problems. Getting as many swings in as possible. Looks like Jazer is deciding to keep Kane alive, not leave it to chance.
Exactly, this is the best way to go because this Veil over here. I mean, the magic defense is such that Palom can't actually break through it. So. Kane not jumping, you have to kind of do it this way. But this is fine for Jazer. It's through. Now, if you don't have Bacchus wine, that could be a little bit more challenging, possibly. Ooh, and there's an adamant rock here.
We're missing the other. We just need the other part of Forge. This is definitely a must of high value K value.
Well, maximum value because all the objectives are required. You can't fade this. But now the question is, where is the Legend Sword? Could be any one of the checks remaining. And Jazer has about 25 minutes to find the solution.
I don't think any of our runners have done the back of Sylph Cave, so at this point I'm rooting for LST, so to have a happier ending. That would be my. But at this point LST is the best solution unless you have counted how many of her monsters that are from the Sylph Cave side, which I suspect is like probably 4 or 5, maybe. This is probably the best solution from a numbers standpoint.
You know what they say about playing the numbers with a randomizer?
Well, but hey, you got to gamble here. You got to gamble.
They're not gambling. They're going with the odds. Random go to rando. That's the essential nature of this thing. But we're gonna see. Of course, the boxes are not in vanilla locations, so you kind of know where all the boxes are here in the LST. Jason's gonna start with the Murasame altar spot, though. Jumps over that one chest on the way.
That's where I always think it's worth going the Murazame route, which is the off route. I also consider Murazame is also the slow blade because it does actually lower your agility if you equip it. But hey, we've got Halt Gauntlet here, so this is a lot of time being eaten up.
Not so much with Kane having Dragoon or Dragon weaknesses here. These are gonna melt pretty quickly here, but you still have 5 fights to take.
Yeah, like even if you have the proper equipment, it's 5 fights is still 5 fights. So I mean, a lot of the time runners will consider fading Alt Gauntlet just like especially when spotting it, just because of the amount of time it takes, especially if you can't take it out in a very efficient manner. At this point, the runners have enough power to just literally power through it. So it shouldn't be as problematic as it would normally be.
Yeah, I mean, that also brings up the question of what exactly the OSHA required equipment to deal with an Alt Gauntlet. I'm not going to answer that question on stream, but just something to consider anyways. Nothing is weak yet, so we'll use the Quake. The Hourglass helps here because otherwise they would counter this Quake with a Beam, which is just going to waste some time and some frames.
I mean, it's better than the Mac Giants, where if you cast lightning on them, they just explode. If I recall correctly. So yeah, this is fine.
For some values of fine. Now, these Warlocks can be dangerous because if they both target Palom, Palom's going down.
Yeah, the Fire 2 is.
Well, we almost lose Palom anyways. Oh, shave.
Hey, better to be lucky than to be good. So, gotta use those hourglasses. Might actually take another hit though. I'm not sure. Has their AT? Have they? Oh, that looks pretty safe. They haven't reacted, so pretty safe now.
The cruelty of Final Fantasy IV, making the enemies watch as frozen in time as they just get walloped down.
I'm hearing poison stairs, but that's just me.
I think all of us hear poison stairs in our dreams at this point.
The game wasn't meant to go at this speed. Well, the walking speed. If you've playing vanilla, you appreciate the walking speed afforded by free enterprise. Let me put it that way.
We're all about convenience of life adjustments over here, right?
Yep. And
it is a white shirt.
That can go on Palom's head if you wish. That's not happening. But almost close, very close to Quake. Quake Kid needs to reach Nuke. If you want to reach Nuke, it's level 52. Rox is at level 50. So Palom's a genius. Learns Rox before Nuke.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And as far as that white shirt goes, there's a little bit of a joke there with Palom being only 5. It's sort of like putting a diaper on his head if you put it on his head.
Some interesting attempts to get at Plague. That's a often I've Plague, that boss, especially at certain spots, like particularly back attack at Mount Ordeals. That spot, that has almost always caused a reset for many a racer. So if you've had to reset because of plague, it's not just you. It's plague.
Play. All right. Matic goes through the Valvalis. We'll get the news that there is an adamant here, so yay. Had to do it. Looks like Jazer is ignoring boxes and just focusing on altars for the time being. It is a great strategy if the altars have exactly what you need with the Legend Sword. If they don't have it, you have to backtrack.
I think I'll take my chances with that. Because then you have enough levels for Impala to pretty much nuke all the chests. Right now, his best spell is Quake, and loosely Ice 3 for the double Red Dragon. But really, I think trying to get Palam to nuke is kind of the indirect play. So once you've checked all these spots, you're ready to take on all the chests at any given point.
I think Kane would object that the number one spell here is him and a crystal sword. Dual wielding.
I mean, they are options. The crystal sword typically is the best option because you have the attack power plus the strength bonus on top of it. So the second one probably doesn't do you any good in terms of the attack power because you can't go over 255. That is the limit. You can modify it by other means like jumping or berserk or another means. But the strength bonus on the second one is probably kind of the icing on the cake for the most part.
I like icing. That's a Zeus Gauntlet at the White Spear Altar. Wump wump.
Well, it's Zeus Gauntlet's still good. But there's just so many better stat sticks or stat armors available. And
yes, you'd rather have a Heron Robe. We have a DKC here. You can't just ignore this one because its attack power is a little bit too high.
Worst case, if Palom dies, Palom dies. I'm not.
But we've already decided Palom is dying, and we'll probably get revived at the end.
Yeah, I mean that is an option. I mean, when you got to try to do it quickly because DKC is not one for trying to give a speech as quickly as possible.
DKC needs to learn a few more words because this is one of the shortest speeches ever.
Maybe one day we'll randomize what he says. Someday, we will see.
We'll get Dr. Dialogue, and then we'll just be like, turn it back.
Well, we could have him say something interesting, but more burr in our lifetime, plus a place to go.
We're still into Twin Harp. How fun. Now, of course, that also raises the interesting question: is you're on the lunar subterranean, when do you go back and save scum some of these things? Because the way it's been left here, you've got a pan, you have got a Baron key, I think, and you've got a Twin Harp that can all lead you places. Oh, and a Tower key, of course, too.
At this point, maybe do a few of the LST chests, just like on the way out, just a few of them, and that would be the thing I'd consider doing. I mean, at this point, ignoring a lot of those treasure chests probably it's already a time loss that you can't really get back. So maybe do a few. I don't know.
You've got a CPU here in the Maza altar spot. It's just annoying because the amount of time it's going to take to get down. And of course, Palam's utility is limited here because if you take out, the other orb, 2 Globe 199s could take you out because you only got 2 of yourself here. And
they're going to get immediately murdered because this spot has pretty high spell power, so it's quad 9, so it's immediate murder.
I think delayed murder is probably just as bad as immediate, but that's possibly just a thing here on the moon.
It's kind of I'm kind of surprised not. Oh, I didn't quite find a back row weapon for Palom, like the Dragon Whip, because because that
I
would
mean,
make it
we have
that would improve the power a little bit.
we have one for Kane. I wish we would just take it off Kane and swap it onto Palom. I mean, if you got one backer, you got tons of them. And they have, I think, I've seen ninja stars here and various other things.
So at least it's CPU is always kind of a slog at any spot. It's almost demissed, but yeah, I think we have a good enough reason to just go back, and because that's a lot of key items picked up on the moon. I think it's worth going back for at this point.
You see that there is a pan here on Jazer's side from the Maza altar. So that's 2 checks now back on the Earth. And of course, I'm not sure if the timer is going to convince Jazer to go back, because we are down to about 13 minutes now to get the good ending as far as it went.
We might have forgotten Blarg, the Blarg spot, Crystal Sword Altar. I don't think we went there.
No, Crystal Sword Altar was faded, as were all of the chests.
I think we're for now. I think this the pan and what else did we pick up is I think
we got pan. We got Twin Harp.
Yeah, so I think that's good enough for now. I don't. Pan is 2 checks, below 2 checks. From bonking Yang with the pan, and then returning the pan. So that's still plenty of spots to get a key item with, and obviously taking the opportunity to get the 2 key item checks versus just the 1 key item check and doing the Twin Harp makes the most sense.
Yeah, and of course, Sheila 2 is a main check. Bonk of Cain is Bonk of Cain. Bonk of Yang is not. We probably want to bonk Cain because he's the only reason we're here in the first place.
Very true. The bonk of Yang is the K summon check, so that's so if at any time the K summon is not on the table, Sylph doesn't matter. But K summon's on the table, so here we are.
We have Bonk Yang. Zinker interact. I don't think there's anything missing, but again, I don't know how long it's been since Nair had a flip there, so.
Well, picked up a Sand Ruby, but we're kind of done with character checks a long time ago. So yeah, that's
if you want a free heal, I mean, there's always that.
But there's a free heal before the Z fight that we're not going to have anyways. At this point, would it make sense to just finish doing Sylph Cave, given what we have? Like, we're not, like, if we have to come back down to Earth, to kind of to finish up the trap chest checking, I mean, that would be a waste, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's not what you want there. It is going to reset out and go. Well, okay. Where are we going next? Harp?
Well, there's only one place to go, given the key items.
We're going to Antlion Cave.
I haven't done it yet. I guess it's time. Well, I believe there's nothing there, right? So I guess we're back.
Well,
bonus round has been found. I think this is at the crystal altar spot, I believe. So we'll find out if that turns into anything. Plus whatever the spot is providing.
Yeah, of course, just like on Vanilla, you have to wait for the mist phase. Bad.
I think Talgrand swapped out the Crystal Sword because the D-Mist is resistant to Holy. It is actually a Holy Dragon. So you actually have... So if if he had the crystal sword, he would be doing half as much damage just because of the resistance.
And unfortunately, goes back into mist phase again. Jazer is off to give us some music. We are down to 9.5 minutes to go on this thing. Talk, as they say.
I mean, it would be nice if the seed was wrapped in a bow, and the other part of Forge, the Legend Sword, is the thing here.
What do you want? I gave him crystal swords. I gave him heroine robes. All at the start. It got King and Queen Evelyn on a giant in this first spot.
It's not
good enough. Can't make it.
Not good enough for bribe.
Apparently, there's no sense in bribing people. You just better, in this case, anyways, family-friendly stream, so we'll leave that there.
You know,
meanwhile, in Free Enterprise, I like to randomize lots of things, one of which includes Edward's harp song, and Jazer's going to be kind enough to let us hear what the lovely tune is for this. It is already set up to automatically wipe the party as soon as it engages, so we are going to be quiet and let you listen to this lovely tune from DJ Spoony B. No, I was really hoping that one of those zombies was going to get a turn off just to show what happens when you take out Mylon first.
Well, it's a kind of a slow spot.
And it's a crystal.
Like every seed, you want for most seeds you'd want the crystal, just not in that form. The cool thing about speeding up that speeding up the sequence that you're supposed to fail at, Kane's already equipping heavy weapons, which is already usually metallic, but the tiaras are also metallic, so that is why Palom got paralyzed.
Yeah, we don't have any cheap plastic tiaras here. Not from Walmart.
Although they're also known as gold hairbands, so it's gold is metal, and yeah, it's fine.
It is a metal, but it's not really metallic the way a magnet would normally nail it. But anyways, neither here nor there. Jazer is now fighting the D-Mist. The rat tail turns into an angry stick for Kane. So it's looking a lot more like it's one of these LST boxes is the solution.
I mean, if the seed has to come to that, it has to come to that. Although it's probably better to, smart to have a save still up here. I mean, key items and the XP not so much, because most of them have been, figured out and used. So it's not as important. Just having the save up here and coming back to here is better than doing the whole travel and stuff that comes with it.
Indeed. We are under 5 minutes to go for the good ending here, and the club captain is getting very enthusiastic over here because I may not have to put off the good ending after all.
I mean, it only takes one trap chest. Just that, just I'm just hoping it just stumble. They just stumble upon it. That would be my hope. But hey, it's your seed. It's your thing. You can have
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay, spoiler alert. This is actually powered to write all three. I'm going to post all three eventually, but as far as the canon for the club goes, only one of them's actually happened. So, he. All right. So, Razor's taking the demist again, so that's going to take most of the rest of the time to 1 hour 30 minutes here.
Yeah, swapping weapons because literally doing less damage. Although that zerking is still not going to help that much. I don't like. It's not going to gain. I don't think it's going to gain that much on it. Probably at least goes through one. One mist form, and then it'll be dispatched. But I don't think it'd be fast enough. But I could be wrong.
Does the off-stream racer count? Good question, Aaron Lore.
I think so, but you would probably be disappointed on stream. I think. When is that? When is it going to be played? Well, never mind. More music.
All right, bit of dueling harps there. Yes, one of our off-stream racers, or only off-stream racer, Nerica, did manage to actually finish the seed. So GG's, Nerocod. I'm gonna have to decide how to deal with that little twist in the road. But
hey, it had the potential of happening. It just so.
Yes, it did.
So looks like there will be a more thorough exploration of Sylph's Cave for Matic. I don't know, doesn't look like he bothered Sylph's Cave. I'm starting to wonder if the LST is the actual answer. I'm sure you is the C just rolled, or was it you, or you've figured you already know the outcome?
No, I did pre-vet the seed because when you're using these settings, it was possible, for example, that you could roll something that would be a blocker if it has something that's required and it's in an impossible spot. I mean, remember, this isn't like our normal type of race settings where it's like you usually get one or two objectives where you can fade them in case you run into something that's super, super nasty. There was no safety here for that. I mean, it was always possible. It's like if you got, let's say, EKC at hook 1 or something like that, and it's like, okay, there's no experience I can really grind here. I can't get enough HP. It's just not going to work. Something like that along the lines.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. I think Matic will probably clear out in the entire Sylph's Cave, most likely as a consequence. So we'll see what that turns out to be.
However, it's a white shirt.
If you wanted protection from those mobiles, I mean, the Zeus Gauntlet would have helped. There's probably a few other pieces of armor that would also do it. I'm not sure if a rune ring was picked up at any point.
The rune ring would be the number 1 option, I believe. I think crystal ring might also do it.
Yeah, charm protection. So while we're talking about this, for breath to be to be ineffective against it, you just need to be resistant to one of the, like, was it 5 or 6 different statuses apply to you. So it's like piggy, small, toad, mute, blind, charm. So that's like that's 6 of them. So you need to be resistant to one of them to be resistant to all of the effects. And that was a ribbon that was just yeeted because who knows? I guess the ribbon is not valuable for still fighting this set of enemies at this point.
Yes, and Tall Grant realizing that, yes, Pal can get rid of 2 of those debuffs, but can't get rid of all the rest of them, so. Attic is found the other Maulball chest with the dark trees. PG Rich is still chasing the LST. Where do we hide the Legend Sword? Why are we just sticking to a stone? That would have been so much easier. Matic found it. It was in the back of Sylph all along.
Those percentage plays, it's a low chance of whatever was left had it, and I guess it was that low chance. I wish I had an actual count, because when I do Sylph Cave rating of the monsters in the boxes, I like to make an account, like, did I do more or less than half of the possible boxes, and that will make my determination on how much I really want to do it. So if there's like 3 out of the 7 possible chests left, I'd probably less likely to do the back.
And it's a gigant axe is what the forge is this time around. That would have been nice to have had for all of our other checks. But Matic is done. GG, hour 33 and about 15 seconds.
GG's.
Yes. Let's see. We will see if any of our racers are able to come in for an interview. We'll let you know in just a few moments as we figure that out. Let's see. Okay, so let's see.
So where did we find Adamant again?
Adamant was... That was the Al at Cave Value, which had all the value.
Okay, so basically Moon... Well, LST was haunted then, if I'm going with, like, because we could have had the Legend Sword way back, and I don't think we depended on anything outside the Darkness Crystal for K value. And that's, like...
That would be correct, I believe. The LST was haunted in this case. And yeah, this was a poison treasury that was definitely disincentivized because, again, you had to walk over all the poison tiles, especially in the back. You've had to have brought a lot of cures with you to undo all that damage. GG to Tall Grant, who is also just finished.
Yep, GG's to Tall Grant. That wasn't too far behind. Our runners are mostly heading to the end of a Beejerish, probably, well, obviously not find what he's looking for on the moon, but you gotta go through at least some of those chests to make a determination and maybe go back to the Sylph Cave.
On the other hand, if you do the entire moon, this is how you end up getting over 2 hours in a flag set like this.
Oh, easily. Uh,
Yeah,
even
'cause I mean,
just even the trek and then doing the bosses. You don't not even doing the chests. Just the bosses alone is quite. It's just time consuming.
yep. We will be hearing from Matic in just a minute. So just give us a few moments. We'll have him in, and meanwhile, we'll still watch what's going on here with Jazer and with BG Rich. Let's see.
You know those that white shirt we made fun of a little bit earlier. So that white shirt actually protects against blind. So that would also have protected against the Mobile's breath attack.
And we are joined by Tall Grant, GG.
How was
you
the
muted Tall Grant.
Hello.
Oh, GG.
Well, thank you very much. How was it tonight?
Oh, well, that's usually a question we ask you.
I mean, you get a heroin robe 1 minute in. It's a pretty smooth ride.
I was a little bit generous, wasn't I?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I had I had 2 wipes that felt really silly in there. The one very early to the box where I just didn't think to jump for it against the Lamia, and then the unfortunate one in Sylph Cave where I just took it and didn't have a good plan for it. But I don't know. I routed the way I usually do in my philosophy with the monster in a box seed, and unfortunately it bit me just because I'd had to get to the cave rather than just chasing after the K main stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did happen to put the last item in the poison treasury in the back, so that was disincentivized just because of how things are going.
I mean, in theory, if I'd really wanted to chase it that hard, I could have been looking for a couple of dwarf axes, slowed Kane down, and then jumped all those ninja shirts that I found, which were also really handy to have, onto Palom and let him go first. But I just kind of look at my math. There's usually about 1-ish key item in there and a K monster in the box seed, and I gambled that it wouldn't be legend or something gating it, and turned out it was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, just the way the distribution worked. I mean, it's like you figure it's cave value, and it's it's the back of Sylph Cave. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but I mean, it was really good to see Narrowcat put in an incredible time, and I've been kind of building a rival with Matic all season, and he got me by about a minute tonight. But it was fun to play. It was a nice run, and I mean, an Omni Seed with Kane just going nuts like that is just an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, I wanted it to be more fun than pain. I think I succeeded in that goal at least. Hopefully,
I think you did too. So I gotta ask, how quickly did Narrowcat get down there and find the Legend Sword?
I think the time was about 126, so it wasn't too much faster. But
well, I was wondering if he got there before he went to the moon more. It was where I was going.
He wasn't on stream, so I honestly don't know.
Oh, well, good. We'll have to ask him later then.
Yeah, it was the one non-restreamed racer, which now also calls into question which ending do I go with, because this is, at least for the lore, it's a reality show. We didn't actually see Narrowcod, so I gotta think about that now. Anyhow, any last thoughts on that, Grant, before we let you get on with the night?
No, just I appreciate the club. Anybody who's out there who hasn't tried Free Enterprise, club season's kind of winding down, but keep your eyes open. Things like this are a lot of fun, great things to play and ways to get plugged in the community, and just find excuses to learn the flags and have a good time. Thank you, Garen, for a wonderful season.
You're welcome, Grant. I appreciate you running, and it's been a lot of fun. We hope you join us for Season 3.
All right. Thank you very much.
And get best of luck in the forthcoming tournament.
Thank you very much. And by the way, don't forget everybody out there to follow everybody on our wonderful restream team tonight. Good night.
All right, call Grant. Next, we are going to be joined by Matic, the winner on stream and second overall, hour 33 minutes. GG.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We got you, yes.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going wonderful. How about with you?
It's going pretty good. That was a fun race. That was quite a lot of fun. I caught a bit of what Grant was saying there towards the end, and yeah, this definitely, you kind of ended it with a bang with giving us power overwhelming and having a bit of fun. as opposed to the struggles we were having that we kind of did upon ourselves the last few races. So that was kind of a nice turn of events. That was a really fun race and very close one, actually. None of us, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, got the good ending except for Nirikad, correct?
Yeah, Nirikad was fast enough to get the quote-unquote best ending. And I think everyone else is going to finish probably good fast enough to get the met or the medium ending. But it's a bit of a lore thing, so I'm going to post them up anyways. If you're watching on stream, feel free to join us in the Discord and read how this all kind of ends. I'll be setting up season 3, and with a little bit of suspense because we aren't going to play it for a few months because tournament. But you can also go with personally. It's like how you did. You can go with whatever lore you'd like, and we'll run from there. But it was a good race. It was just a question of, did you do Poison Treasury early, or did you try and fade it because it's stinky with no float and with all those poison tiles and no healer?
I did fade it early, yes. So I basically did everything underground, and even checking Chila 1, and decided to skip those stealth chests, which unfortunately came back to bite me a bit. Went to the moon. Well, I did Giant, which is pretty free, except I did take a wipe just due to some silliness from Leviathan there. But then I went to the moon, got to cave value, and surprise, surprise, it had value. By that point, I just needed Legend Sword and Adamant to finish the race. So half done there. It was yet another seed where going down LST and doing the altars in the boxes there was completely not needed at all. Luckily, I didn't do any of the boxes down there. However, I did do a few of the altars. Actually, I did all of them except for Crystal Sword altar, I believe. And that led me back to after I did all those, it led me back to the blue planet to do a pointless pan chain and a twin harp, which gave me nothing as well. By that point, I thought, well, let's do those stealth boxes now. I mean, and if that doesn't have it, then I have a save point up on the moon, and we'll go there. We'll go to Crystal Sword Altar, and then if that doesn't have anything, it's time to hunt some boxes there. So yeah, that
Crystal Sword Altar you faded actually had the bonus round.
The bonus round? Oh
Demas.
Yes, Demas. I see. Yes, I was wondering where Demas was. Never see. I'm like, yeah, it was either that or Packet. Well, I guess it could have been. Actually, I never saw Baron Key. Never saw Baron, so it could have been in there as well somewhere. But yeah, luckily I guess I faded that. Obviously faded Baron wherever the Baron Key was, and faded all of the LST boxes. But there was like I said, it was a lot of fun. Palom has never swung so well with weapons. I mean, just so many crystal swords and so much offensive gear, so many arrow and robes. He hardly casted spells, obviously. He was just a fighter, just like, not as good as Kane, certainly, but he was contributing quite well. And only really used him to... mostly for those Sylph boxes, for the ghosts and whatnot, is really the only time I used his spells. But yeah, extremely close race. Extremely, a lot of fun there.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. We loved having you here for the season. Hopefully you join us for season 3.
Oh, most definitely. I will say again, Garen, kind of echoing what Grant said, you put an insane amount of time into this season with the lore and developing the flag sets and kind of walking us through it for these past several months. Really, really well done, and thank you for such a memorable experience. So yeah, definitely I'm looking forward to the next season as well. And if anyone else is interested in this club, I would highly recommend it. We have our tournament coming up here fairly soon, so obviously the clubs are kind of winding down in the other races. But it will be coming back, I'm sure, in time, and yeah, really a lot of fun. I encourage everyone who's even interested or thinking about just trying free enterprise just for fun. Maybe you're, just casually starting. Like I kind of casually started about a year ago and really getting into it. I would highly suggest you get in on the fun and join us on the.
Thank you for the plug.
Many clubs.
Definitely appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed. It's all for fun and entertainment, and I hope I delivered there for you. So, thanks very much. And I guess Deathlight, there's anything else to add?
Nope, nothing else to add.
I mean Deathlight, sorry, the co-commentator.
Oh, Deathlight, yes.
Oh, I didn't have anything else to add. Just GG's.
Okay. I want to dominate the whole conversation here. Sorry, Deathlight.
No, I'm just watching other things happen. But yeah, that was quite a scene. So, I guess the only question I have would be, was there any particular like say seed this season that you enjoyed, or was this a good culmination of everything that has happened throughout the season?
You know, I really liked, how the season, it got, progressively harder because we were slowly punishing ourselves with, taking things away. And then towards the end, Garen threw in the wacky flags. I really like those wacky flags and kind of guessing which one it's going to be. And I know that some Red Runners did not enjoy it, but for some reason, the push speed to jump seed was kind of one of my favorites. I don't know. I enjoyed that flag set quite a bit. And others were kind of bullish on it and didn't quite like it as much as the other ones. But not just that one. I liked all the wacky flags. They were just a unique perspective on, having the flags that we developed ourselves and throwing in a wacky on top of it. It just always added a fresh experience with each one these last several weeks. So that I found that quite interesting.
I mean,
All right.
Yep. So that sounded very enjoyable. I mean, all the wacky flags are definitely worth playing around with, especially just making things a little bit interesting, and so certainly worth certainly playing around with.
Yeah, and you learn a lot as well from them.
Yes, I was nice. I didn't go with any of the super punishing ones like Afflicted or, the floor is lava or something like that. I mean, I could have done that, but I figured I want you to come back for season 3, so let's not make it too bad. All right. Well, thanks so much again, Maddox. We'll have a good night. We'll see you around for in the tournament and next season.
All right. Take care.
All right. And we are joined by Jazer. GG.
GG.
So, what did you think of this seed?
I felt like it was going great when I got the Adamant Rock and just needed a Legend Sword at, 106 or something, and then just didn't find the Legend Sword for a really long time.
Yeah, and it's like, I was kind of wondering as we were in the Sylph Cave, it's like, he's in the area. I know it's here. Is he going to go into the back? And it's like, nope. Just did the stuff in the front with the pan check, and then it's like the backup fade, which is, I understand why. It's like a lot of damage tiles back there. A few cure pots, but not a ton of them, and I get why you'd fade it until a little bit later, but yeah, it's one of those things where poison treasury or not poison treasury. Sylph Cave is always such a thing on monster boxes, so.
Yeah, I like to do the front half of Sylph when I'm doing the pan checks, but without float or white mage, back half is a little rough. But
yeah, although intentionally so. It's like I had to put some challenge in this. May give you heroine robes, crystal swords, all the power you want within the first 5 minutes.
How many holy swords did we get? Oh my goodness.
How many more would you have had if you had done the LST boxes, any of you? Yeah, it's like it was loaded.
And a starting heroine robe to boot, so.
And the thing is, I didn't even realize the starting heroine was in the random options.
I think anything's in the random options, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
pack. Like the 99 pack can be 99 adamant armors and a no adamant seed.
I don't know what it actually had picked, because it's a random kit. And it's like I didn't know of any random kit that had a heroine robe in it, along with all the other stuff that came in that last kit. So this is the first seed I actually rolled for vetting, and it's like, ooh, I think this is nice. I'm going to go with it. And it turned out, I ran it through. It's like, hey, nothing is impossible here. We're going to go. And yeah, it worked out, I think, fairly well. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch this one back and see how it went on stream.
Yeah, I would say until it got to the point where you needed to find the Legend Sword, and it's like, you just didn't happen to find the right path for a while. I mean, I think you were in the lead for most of it. It just turned out that I think Matic got back to the Sylph Cave a little bit sooner, and it was just a case of where you went and trying to find that box. I mean, you tried the Twin Harp, and you tried the what was the other thing you came back down to the Earth for?
Pan tracks. I came
With the
to
pan
Earth
checks.
for.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense to try it. It's kind of where it's like, okay, you're going back to the Sylph Cave. Maybe this is time to take the back. It's like, but logically, it doesn't make any sense. You fade it once, stick to your fades. It's always a good strategy.
And then I killed the mist. It's a zonk. So I reset out and then realized, wait a second, that was the mist.
Oh, yeah, and then it turned out it was a zonk anyway, so, yeah.
Yeah, double. Had to zonk it twice. Not that it took that long at that point, but still.
Yeah, but that's something that it's not like any of us have ever done that on stream before, right? It's like, the boss realized after you reset, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I should have done that.
I also faded Antline, but for a long time on accident, I just had the tools to do like the hook route and stuff fast, so I just pushed, and then I just forgot Antline was a thing until I saw it on my tracker when I was getting ready to do Twin Harp.
Yeah,
You won't be the first and you won't be the last. Don't worry about it.
Oh, for sure.
sometimes Antline is a strategic fade, because, I mean, especially it's like, it takes a minute or two to get down there. I mean, if you didn't have exits, it takes a little bit to get back out. Not a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And yes, fading Antline is a tradition, Tall Grant. Yeah, you're right.
You might have noticed when I saw the exits, I spent all my money on them. In my practice seat, I got to the bottom of the lunar subterrane and realized I had no exits when I wanted to leave. And so I went up and did trap chests on the way out. And didn't want to be in that situation again.
Yeah, I know we thought you were fading the chests on the way down, and it's like, turned out like the way LS2 was set up, that was the right play, because they had nothing of any value, except that they must have had a Baron Key somewhere, which would have just been another rabbit hole to chase.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but it was a fun season.
Overall thoughts on the season?
Thanks for doing comms, guys, and restream and tracking.
Yeah, thanks for joining us all season long. It's been great having you racing with us, so hopefully you'll come back for season 3. If you're joining the tournament, best of luck in that as well.
Okay. Thank you. We'll see if I can do the tournament, hopefully.
Well, if not, you can always watch the tournament too. I mean, there's no harm in that either.
Yeah, I usually watch quite a bit, so that's
all
for
right.
sure. It's just whether or not I'll be able to schedule times for races and stuff.
Well, I definitely feel you on that one. It's like, anyways, I understand the busy schedule, so I'll let you have a good rest of your night, and thank you for joining us on the live finale.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
GG's again, Jazer.
GG, Jazer. Okay, we're back to BG Rich, who has just gotten through the Twin Harp check, and has gone through a lot of checks, but it sounds like has not gotten through Cave Value, if I'm understanding correctly, right?
Look, I mean, the tracker's to believed, probably. I think probably hasn't. I mean, it's kind of out of the way in terms of the moon. Like, it's kind of like the Merzame altar. It's out of the way sometimes, so sometimes you forget or ignore it. So or even like the Crystal Sword altar. Although I think Beach Rich has done that actually. So
I think based on the pause on the screen, BG Rich might actually be doing a forfeit here. Yeah, it looks like that's what I'm seeing in the race room. So we can see if he wants to say anything real quick, and if so, great, and if not, that's totally fine too.
it's a long season. It's a longish race. It's understandable. But still a very, very good effort though.
Indeed, I mean that was a little bit rough. Again, it's one of those things where it's like I kind of knew when I ran the sea. It's like, okay, it is the Poison Treasury is required. It's a stinky place. When are they going to go there and see it? And as we saw, it's like I don't know what Nerocod did exactly on his stream, but everybody else, like that Sylph Cave was staying unchecked until towards the end.
Yeah, it was with various checks of Sylph Cave because you're there. I mean, it's a tough place to try to do, especially when you have no float. It's understandable what the decision making that goes with that.
We are joined by BG Rich and channel GG. You might be on mute. I'm still on mute. Sorry, Rich.
Hey there, I was having a little bit of technical difficulties. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now, BG Rich. GG.
GG. Yeah, that was that was a fun one, but didn't finish it.
Yeah. Was that just because you weren't sure where to go, or just you wanted to ran out of time, or?
I mean, at that point, when I invested so much time on that, what was that? The Queen of Baymarch, and it didn't pay off. It was kind of killed the seed. I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep up with everybody else after that. I think I lost about 10 or 15 minutes at least on that spot. So after that, I was just kind of dragging through.
Yeah, you guys still managed if you'd gotten lucky with where the forge was placed. You didn't have either part of it, did you?
What was that?
Did you have either part of the forge?
I never got either part.
Okay. Yeah, the legend sword was sitting at the poison Sylph treasury, and the adamant was sitting at Cave Value, as it turned out, behind that Val.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even bother checking it at that point. I figured I'd cash in my items, and then if it didn't pay off, I would just take the forfeit.
That's totally fair. Sometimes seeds are like that. And what are you gonna do? Any thoughts on the seed and how it played? I mean, I know pretty power overwhelming seed. I hope it was a bit of fun, even though the result maybe wasn't so great. But
yeah, no, it was fun. I think it was one where it got to a point where it's like I don't want to just be holding everybody up and taking like an hour longer or whatever. So it wasn't worth wasting people's time.
It wouldn't have been a waste of time. It's totally fine. You don't ever feel pressure to quit the seed just because it's not going well. But I think overall, I mean, I think you've gotten much better over the course of the season than when you first started with us. So, I mean, it's good to see the growth in there.
Yeah, there were some good seeds there in the middle. I think I kind of tapered off towards the end, and when we had the playoffs, I know that I think it was the third seed where I just did a complete gamble because I was trying to make up time, and I was like, well, either it's going to pay off or it's going to be horrible, and it was horrible. So sometimes that's how it goes too. That's part of playing randomizers, is sometimes you have to try to jump in there, take a couple gambles here and there, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean the push me to jump first playoff seed was the big one in terms of variance. I never saw as large of a spread in races as I did in that one. And I think you held up pretty well on that one, and at least once during the season you were fast enough to actually make the pick in terms of the the choice of flags. I mean, it's definitely a good thing, and thank you for being one of our regular racers. I think we've been here both seasons, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll join us again for season 3. I have to post the lore for how the club ended now, or for the season, but I'll try and set up and make it exciting for round 3. And if you're joining us with the tournament, wish you the best of luck in that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be playing, but I think I might just check out some of the community clubs and pick up races and stuff. But yeah, I might be taking a step back again. I think it's been fun getting in on the Survivor stuff and on the Mount Spaghetti's club, and I don't know, maybe it's time for me to take a step back. I don't think I've played very well these past couple of years on this game, so it might be time. Maybe I need to regroup.
Hey, it's totally fair. I mean, out is a thing. We definitely want to make sure you don't play it to its point you just don't like the game anymore. That'd be kind of sad. So,
Oh yeah, no, it'll always be a fun game. I think this is definitely a cool community, pretty cool randomizer. I mean, Final Fantasy IV will always be a great game, so I think there will always be that fun factor. But yeah, I don't know if time wise and stuff. It's not looking good right now with playing the tournament coming up.
it's totally fair. If you don't end up playing it, we do hope you at least watch it and continue having fun with the game. I know clubs will probably be a little bit light for a bit here, but we'll start up again and have had again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Any overall final thoughts on the seed, the club, or the season?
Yeah, I appreciate having this. I think the reality TV show stuff. I think it's great. The storytelling has been amazing. It's been quite enjoyable. I think people also with both of the seasons, like you definitely have your standout players, but then every week it could end up being different. So I think that's been fun seeing different people shine and just yeah. I mean, just like with any combination of seeds on the same or a flag set that keeps having a little bit of change with each of it it's interesting to see how if players change up their strategies or how everything turns out.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, thanks again for joining us. We hope you definitely have a very nice evening, and yeah, catch you around.
All right, you too. Thanks again for having me on here for the season and for today and for all that you do with all this programming and stuff. This was pretty fun.
You're welcome. Hope you enjoyed.
All right, you too.
GG's again, Rich.
All right, so that's gonna about wrap it up for us here on For Enterprise tonight. Again, if you want to join us on the Discord, we do have a tournament coming up. It is still in the planning stages. There's some beta flag acings going on if you want to join some of those, or just read up on some of the clubs that we have, even though we're kind of going to a bit of a club hiatus thing here. If you want to read any of the lore of the clubs, some of the clubs definitely do put out some lovely lore in there. And also, again, thanks again to Aaron Lore for doing the restream, Eru and also Scar for doing the tracking, and Death Like You for doing the comms with me, Racers, Tall Grant, Matic, BG Rich, Jazer, and also off-stream Narukod. Thank you so much for making it a wonderful club season. Meanwhile, for those of you still with us, we are going to send you all off to...
I think it's RGB limit break for having a marathon. So,
yep, it is their namesake marathon raising money for NAMI. So that's where we're going to send you. Once again, my name is Garen, the club captain of Survivor Hero Island. We thank you for joining us for Season 2, and have a great night.
See you all next season.